Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and today we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark's horror story, which is essentially her season in the WNBA so far. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. Rob, the basis of this video was a text that I received at 3 o'clock in the morning from a friend of mine who's a big basketball fan, but not a big WNBA fan. So he doesn't know that much about it, but he has watched Caitlin Clark and finds her very exciting and an excellent player.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he said. He said, "It's really quite amazing the attitude of many WNBA types, players, and coaches. Not appealing, and neither is their game except for Caitlin." That's what he said after he watched some of our videos and got some knowledge about the game. And I texted him back, and I said, first of all, I said there's haters both in and out of the league that say she is the great white hype, with the main reason that she is so popular is because she is white in a black league, and not because she's a generational talent and super exciting. They say,
Right. Yeah. That's Mark. That's just the beginning of all of the horror story. Just that right there, what you responded. To equate her to the great white hype. This hype thing. The definition of that. What does that mean?
and it implies that she's overrated, Rob.
Yeah.
And that there's no substance to her abilities. That's what it implies to me. And they also say that she is highly flawed, a one-trick pony, overrated, average player who is playing like crap and is essentially a bust. Yet,
Yeah.
they put more effort in stopping her than any player in WNBA history by always giving her the best defender, designing their whole defensive schemes in an effort to stop her and get the ball out of her hands, and by double teaming and triple teaming her more than any player in the league by a large margin.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And you're not just the only one saying that. I've seen other people say the same thing. She's when she came into the league, she was already a marked person. And then of course with the coaches, the teams that she's played against, who are they? They want to stop her. So they double team her and kind of physical, and then the physicality also on her also.
Rob, imagine her numbers if she actually received the same attention as her supposed limited abilities were. Mm-hmm. And if she had a competent coach who knew how to use her properly and wasn't holding her back. And if her teammates all supported her and could catch her passes and make easy layups and wide open shots. Just imagine what her numbers would be.
Imagine that, especially the coaching part,
It's funny that he just watched some videos and picked up on the problem with the league in the first place, which is they have a bad attitude towards the public.
Well, I'm sorry, Mark. Like he stated, appeal. He has a business sense. So what's the appeal? What's drawing him? Like he said, what's drawing me to watch the WNBA? What's the appeal factor?
Well, we'll get to that, Rob, because that was part of the text I sent him. So when I answered to him, I said, yes, all of this is rather shocking. It is to me. Like, I can't believe what I'm actually been experiencing the last few months from the league and how unappealing and how unprofessional they are. It's no wonder they're not popular. The refs are awful and mostly biased against Caitlin. The commissioner has been there for 5 years and is incompetent. She has failed to improve the refs and has not taken the physicality out of the league to improve the product. The game is the most physical basketball in the world because they lack the talent to succeed.
Yeah, and the commissioner is promoting the physical. That's one of her things. She's promoting that it's a physical league, which is the wrong way to promote a league. No, this is not football. This is basketball, and it's supposed to be a non-contact sport, though there is some physicality to it. But to just out and out promote it, we're a physical league. Like, okay, then I guess I'll watch rollerball or something like that,
I don't know why they're proud of that, Rob. It's unbelievable. They keep telling me the best, but yet they want they're proud of the fact that they're very physical when fans don't like that brand of basketball. So it's a no-brainer that maybe they should clean it up. But maybe that's just me. I'm just thinking logical, Rob, and you told me not to do that.
No logic on it, Mark. You told me.
It's a shame that's the only option for U.S. women to play professional basketball because it's a cesspool. Who would want their daughter in this toxic environment, Rob? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, if you're like your daughter wants to be a professional basketball player, let's say she's tall and she's into sports, gosh, I would almost discourage her and go somewhere else. This is the only option in this WNBA unless you want to play in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I might deter like the soccer, which is more popular, or lacrosse, women's lacrosse, something else, something different than this.
Yeah, I would put her towards soccer because you can make money there.
Exactly.
Caitlin is the biggest cash cow in the history of sports, and at the same time has received the coldest reception in the history of sports. Tell me how much sense that makes. They're so jealous and envious of her for a variety of reasons to the point of hatred and overly physical play, and the league and the terrible refs have not protected her.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, it's amazing how it's not even there's a dislike. You can dislike somebody and still talk to them, but they out and out hate her. They don't like her for the fact that could be white. People don't like to bring up race. It could be that she's white, but also, like I said, with the jealousy comes with jealousy and that she's getting more attention.
And the money she's making.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah, the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think it's a combination of that. For each person, I'm sure it's a different percentage of each. Mm-hmm. But it's jealousy, envious. She's white. Some people think it's because she's straight. Endorsements, the publicity she gets. People that say she's a great player, they think she's not as good as their fans think she is. Anyways, she is now one of the top 10 players in the league and the best point guard at this point. And they won't put her on the Olympic team merely because she would receive too much attention, which would, of course, grow the league both internationally and nationally. They just don't get it that if she is successful, they will all make more money. It escapes them that the more attention Clark gets, the more attention, which they have been craving for 28 years, they will get too.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Gee, what a concept.
Well, it seems like a simple concept, but it escapes them, which is really fascinating to me and mind-boggling. To say that they are petty is a huge understatement, and they behave against their own self-interest. They are bad business people, and that's why they've been a welfare league for 28 years, supported by the NBA.
Right, exactly. And now now they have this perfect spot. Like I think I've said in videos, this is really the year they can see what's going on. They can see what's happening with this fantastic player that has come into the league, that has lit up the league. And they've had numerous players that are great ball players. But this particular player, Caitlin Clark, has brought new excitement into their league, but they can't get it. They don't get it.
I agree, Rob. Meanwhile, Caitlin keeps taking the high road and is 10 times more mature and likable than the women, and I use that term loosely, hating on her. It's a nightmare, and if Caitlin wasn't making so much money on NIL and numerous sponsors and endorsements, she would be playing in Europe in a heartbeat where they would appreciate her. Her coach and GM is the worst I've ever seen, and the owner seems oblivious to all of this.
Right. I mean, it's like a three-pronged thing here. Owner, GM, and coach have definitely made it into a horror story for her. And, and she's fighting through it mentally. And I think she's finally, like, the way she's fighting through it is just saying, forget this. I'm going to put this out of my mind. I'm just going to play the way I know how to play and let the chips fall.
Yeah, Rob, I said this once before in an old video that we had. I said, if I gave you this movie script, you would tell me to rewrite it if you were the head of the studio because it would not be believable enough. And it's becoming more unbelievable every day. And that was just in terms of her popularity, not how she got treated in the league.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I said, let that sink in, though, Rob. This situation and facts and what's happened to her is not believable enough to be made into a movie. And considering how unbelievable some movies are, that's pretty strong statement.
Yeah.
Almost all the black women and some of the black men in the media around the league and on social media have resorted to tribalism and racism, and all hate and underrate her and overrate Angel Reese, who was very immature and unlikable, in my opinion, Rob.
And when they get called out on that, Mark, when I think Monica McNutt was getting all offended, and when they get called out on saying, "Oh, that's racist," they get all offended. It's like, it's obvious. Well, so then if it's not that, what is it then?
I don't know, Rob. And apparently, you can't criticize black women for criticizing white women.
Right. So I mean,
or underrating them, I guess.
If you're going to sit there and say, "Oh, it's not," I'm not being a racist. When you say that, when someone says that, it means they're racist. That's to me. Whenever I hear someone say, "No, I'm not a racist," I'm like, "Yeah, you are, because you just said it."
And I'm all for woke, but they're like overly woke. ESPN, with their overly woke and black agenda, have chosen Angel over Caitlyn. Despite Caitlyn being way more likable, talented, 10 times more exciting, and clearly better. Almost everyone involved in the league and many who follow the league have made a concerted effort to try and limit the success of Caitlyn, partly because she is white and straight in a predominantly black and lesbian league. They are fighting, scratching, and clawing to try and prevent the inevitable, Clark being the face of the league and most likely their best player.
I mean, when you say black agenda, I don't. I mean, to me, it's not a black agenda. It's just I don't want to accept what is going on, what I see in front of me. It's not a black woman. So what I'll pick one. Let's see, Angel Reese. I'll focus on her and put all my attention to her and promote her, because she's not getting that attention. But with Angel Reese, she wants the attention, but then it's bad. The way she does it it's not correct. It pushes people away, the attention that she wants. So, I mean, if you're going to promote, or you want to promote the league, or like I said, if you're into the sports industry, you have to see what's going on right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I say black agenda, I'm saying in the sense that they feel that they have to support the black woman, and they're promoting the black woman. So that's kind of the way I meant it. Meanwhile, Rob, Clark has given almost nothing but praise to the league and its players, and has just tried to avoid the drama and just play basketball and work hard to try and get better. All of this has resulted in racism, including both of Reese's and Clark's superfans. Yep. And it's the most disgusting situation I've seen in sports in my lifetime. Now, I want to stop right there because I mentioned it's the worst reception she's ever got. I'm excluding things that didn't happen before in my lifetime, like Jackie Robinson, what happened to Hank Aaron, even sometimes things that happened to Jack Johnson in the early 1900s as a black boxer, and even Muhammad Ali, some of that stuff, which just happened when I was really young. But in my experience, this is the worst reception I've ever seen an athlete get. So I want to make that clear. I know that black athletes got a lot of bad receptions in sports. Again, very shocking and sad. And I feel sorry for the mental and physical toll it must be taking on such a classy, exciting, unique, and talented young woman. Clark fans just want to watch and enjoy perhaps the most exciting and captivating athlete since Michael Jordan without all this despicable drama. And sadly, they won't let us. It's a horror story.
And the main thing, not just the fans, Mark, like you said, Caitlin Clark herself. She just wants to go out there and play basketball, enjoy the game. She doesn't want to care about all this other stuff. You know, the fan, it's great. But all she wants to do is go out there and play basketball and have fun.
And Rob, it's just sad. I mean, I just can't imagine what she's going through mentally. And especially with the fact that she has no outlet to say anything, because she says anything, then they're going to hate on her more. They're going to be more physical with her. She may lose her endorsements. And, you know, she's already gotten so many people hating her for no reason. It's just, she's always got to take the high road. I don't know if I could bite my tongue all the time, Rob.
Yeah, I know I definitely would be saying stuff. You know, I would definitely be confronting it the way my personality is. So I commend her in that. And hopefully, like I said, she's got a nice support system. And now it seems like with them winning and her teammates, which really helps a lot. I mean, her teammates seem to be bonding around her too. They've gotten used to her and they're bonding. And that's really important too. So she can just say, well, I don't care about you guys. At least my teammates are with me. So that helps a whole lot.
She said almost nothing. Maybe she said like one time, oh, some people get away with more physicality than others, against me and stuff like that. That's about it. Other than that, she even talked about how good a player Kennedy Carter was, who took a cheap shot on her. I mean, how much nicer could she be to these people? She turns a blind eye to everything Angel Reese does in terms of her obvious hatred towards her. I don't know what more she can do, how much nicer she could be. Some people say she's too nice. Yeah. She needs to come out and say things, but she's in a pickle, Rob. She does any of that, and the hate becomes even greater than it already is, because it's an irrational hate.
Well, that movie that you might make, Mark, it wouldn't be a happy one. It would be a horror film, probably. Maybe, in the back of it. That's what it seems like.
It depends on the ending, Rob. She could get seriously injured. I think they backed off some. Things have turned around a little bit. Her coach is still incompetent. And imagine that. She can't even tell anybody but her people really close to her, because it'll make her look like a complainer. They'll say she's not loyal to the team. And they'll say she's a prima donna.
Right.
She can't even criticize her, and she can't say anything bad about her teammates, or they'll say the same thing. They're going to say she's a prima donna. She's worse than LeBron. That's what they'll say. If she goes and say, listen, if this coach is just going to use me to stand in the corner after I pass it, just trade me to another team. She says that, she'll get crushed, Rob. Even though that's what I would want to say.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't deal with what I'm doing, then just trade me. I mean, I'll go someplace else. I'll go over to Europe where I know I'll be accepted. And that's what, speaking of back in the day, that's what most black entertainers did when they were accepted. But when they were accepted, they went over to Europe and then they got they were like with arms open. There was no racism. They loved it. So they had to leave their home. We had to leave our own country in order to get recognized.
There's a lot of Michael Jackson's fans out there, because some people think he's the greatest dancer ever. They actually got lessons from these two brothers called the Nicholas brothers. Yes. And the Nicholas brothers had almost like a 60-year career in dance. And they actually gave Michael Jackson dance lessons. They're like as good as Michael Jackson at dancing and better in some ways. And they had to go over to Europe, and they did tours over in Europe because they couldn't make enough money in the United States.
Right.
It's the same thing. Right. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that topic up, Rob, because they're two of my favorite dancers. You can look them up, the Nicholas brothers.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. They're fantastic.
There's one called Nicholas Brothers, the greatest dance sequence. You'll see the most amazing dance you ever want to see in your life. They're like flash tap dancers, is what they are.
And then when they jump off on the steps, and they both do splits.
Right.
You have to, the video is just amazing. But I'm just saying with Caitlin Clark, I'm not, like I said, we're not equating that to, I should know, about the struggles of black entertainers or black people or sports people. But it's getting to the point where it's like, geez, if I'm getting all this hate and all this mental anguish, why should I stay in this league? Why don't I go over and explore? And she probably could make even more money over in Europe. Even more. Right. I mean, she'll make even more, definitely.
Which she would. I don't know if she would make as much money in endorsements and sponsors, and that's a dilemma she has, Rob. And here's the other dilemma that she has that's put her in a difficult situation. She's very, very competitive, and she wants to be the greatest basketball player of all time. I know, because I read an article about her, and that's what's come out, which is fine. It didn't surprise me at all. I would have been surprised if she didn't want to be the greatest basketball player of all time. Mm-hmm. And she can't really establish herself as that without playing in the WNBA, because the other leagues over in Europe are not as good. So she's stuck in this league if she wants to accomplish her lifelong goal of being the best basketball player. And I think she's capable of it.
Yes.
I think she's capable of being the best basketball player of all time. I don't think it's 100% for sure.
No, it's not guaranteed.
I think it's almost 100% for sure she's going to be an MVP someday and win a championship, unless she gets, major injury. But the greatest of all time, that's hard, because it's, like I said, I talked about this before in another video. I think it's very unclear in the WNBA who the greatest player of all time is. So I think it's might always be unclear until someone really, really dominates.
But to me, Mark, each game you've watched the games. Each game, she'll do something, make a pass or something, and it's like, wait a minute, that was better than when I saw the last game. It's amazing. So you can see the growth, like you said. You can see the potential that this young woman, is going to be a great, might be the greatest basketball player they ever had.
Well, that's that's how my friend found out about her. My brother found out about it is when I said, you've got to watch this. You got to watch her play. Not only she's got these logo threes and she's super competitive, she's the greatest passer I've ever seen in women's basketball. This is a year ago. This is like when I saw her as a junior and then I saw her as a senior, and she passed even better as a senior than she did as a junior. And I said that. And that's what people don't get. That's why people underrate her. I think people are understanding it now, although the haters are still out there because they're obsessed with turnovers, which we're not going to cover in this video. But those will come down, and she is the greatest passer in women's history. And she probably, if you even took the men in the NBA, she passes like a man. And I think there's no more than 10, 20, 30 men that are better than her. It's hard to compare because you're passing, but she is that brilliant a passer that I don't think I can come up with 20 men that pass better than her.
And that's why getting it that we've already talked about, that's why she's Rookie of the Year. I mean, the double doubles by Reese, that's fine. That's an easy thing. But I mean, to have the ball in your hand and with an assist, you have to make the pass correctly. And also that person has to score. And that degree is much harder than, I'm saying get the rebound, throw it up off the backboard and putting it back in 5 or 7 feet away. That's no achievement. And the point that you always make is that she makes her team better. Look at the Fever team better. They're playing much better.
That's right. And the sad part about all this, Rob, is that the fans are suffering. Like, I was like really I had no idea the WNBA was like this or they were going to treat her like this. I was like, well, I can't wait till she plays in the pros. Just like any other exciting college player. It wasn't just her. It's like, you always feel that way. I can't wait to see what they do in the pros. I can't wait to see how much excitement they generate, how successful she is. And the fans can't even enjoy the basketball because every day there's more drama having to do with Caitlin Clark that she is not causing. She is just trying to play basketball. Even when she answered a question, Rob, in one of those press conference, that wasn't even a press conference. When a reporter asked her a question, she said, I'm not even on social media. I don't even know what's going on. I said, I just here to play basketball. They criticized her for that. And so basically called her a racist for not condoning the racism. So she put another answer out. Okay, that was okay. She said it's not right. But she doesn't know what's going on about that. That's why she stays off social media, because there's so much hate. I'll make this clear, because both the Clark superfans and the Reese superfans, I understand, are making racist comments. And that's a result of all this drama. Mm-hmm. None of them should be doing that. But if this wasn't going on, if the underlying things weren't be going on, we wouldn't have all these racist things going on. People would just be following basketball and watching basketball. So it's really pathetic.
Yeah, if she was just treated like any other rookie into the league, if she was just treated like any other good rookie,
as opposed to an enemy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, why can't you be treated like that? Why is it going to be this soap opera, all my children type thing,
I laughed when Sabrina Ionescu said, well, Indiana playing us, that was their Super Bowl. Every game Indiana Fever plays is the Super Bowl for the other team, because they're trying to keep Caitlin Clark down and trying to prevent the Indiana Fever from winning, because that will make Clark look good. So I laughed at that. They're getting harder. It's harder for Indiana to win than any other team, because they're getting everyone else's team's best shot at them.
Right, exactly. They circle on the calendar. They circle the Fever when they're playing them.
Caitlin Clark, we can't let this white hype go off, Rob. That's what's going in their minds.
Oh yeah, we can't let her drop 20. But you know what? They can't. It happens anyway. They can't.
Not every game. She's had some bad games, but she's really come around the last 6 games, Rob.
Mark, her bad games are fantastic games for the average NBA player. If an average NBA player would have her bad games, they'd be promoted. So when we say she has a bad game compared to the level that we put her at. Maybe we put her on a higher level, but the reason why we put her on that higher level is because she can do it. We've seen her do it.
Rob, we talked about this before. Eventually, they accepted Tiger Woods when they realized he was making them a lot of money too. And I'm just hoping that happens here. And I'm hoping maybe they change their mind about the Olympic team, because as Paul Pierce said, this is the biggest ball drop since New Year's night.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
And I guess go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
And then hopefully, like I said, to kind of almost end this, hopefully, like we said, it is currently we believe it's a horror story, but maybe in the second half after the Olympics, I mean, it seems like the players, even Dana Taurasi and Griner and a couple other players, are kind of accepting her. And maybe after this All-Star game, this Saturday, I think when she can really showcase her talent, maybe then people were like, okay, we get it. We got this now.
All 11 of the players that she's going to be playing with are theoretically very good players, so they're more likely to catch her passes and more likely to commit to hit open shots and complete layups. I understand 2 of them are her teammates right now, but Mitchell doesn't catch her passes now, but she's been doing better lately. So I don't know, Rob. We'll see what happens this Saturday, and we'll see what happens in her career. I think that the league would get really, really popular if she became an MVP and won a championship. Not just her, but the league, because people would tune in like crazy. When Michael Jordan was winning all those championships, it wasn't just Michael Jordan that got popular. No. I mean, obviously Magic and Larry got it started, but when Michael Jordan was winning 3 in a row, and he was the most exciting athlete as well as the best athlete, the NBA ballooned in popularity. Yep. Everybody started making more money because of that. This is simple. This is a simple concept. It can happen with Caitlin Clark if she becomes the best player in the league and wins some championships. And everybody's going to start making money. People will notice how good Asia Wilson is. That's what they'll notice. They won't just notice Caitlin Clark. But you got to get the eyeballs on there first. And if you're trying to hold her down, the eyeballs won't come in or they won't stay. They will desert you in a heartbeat because they're already fed up. They're disgusted with it. People already canceled their WNBA passes, Rob.
Right. The bottom line is money. Whether it's GM, IBM, the bottom line is money.
Rule number 1, everything's about money. If not, see rule number 1 again.
That was my Ric Flair. I'm sorry. That's my Ric Flair.
That's your Nick. Is that what it is? That what that is? I don't watch. I don't watch WWE or whatever that is.
That's my man. That's old school Ric Flair.
And the sad part about this is that it kills me because I am so against conspiracies. I'm way too logical for conspiracies, and this seems like a conspiracy to me. And I hate even suggesting it, Rob. Seriously, it bothers me emotionally that I have to think that this is a conspiracy. I hate the fact there's so many conspiracies going around right now in the United States.
You in.
It's real. What can I say, Rob? That's not my style. But it's what can when there's facts, Rob.
Right.
There's more than inferences going on here, Rob. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. That's our take for today. Let us know what you think. Do you think if this is a nightmare for her? Do you think she has an emotional toll going on right now? Think it'll have a happy ending or not? I hope so. And not just for her, for the league. I want the league to be successful. I want these women to get paid more than $64,000 a year.
Right.
I do.
Getting paid less than the coaches. The coaches get paid more.
Right. But I can't do it for them.
Right.
They have to change their attitude. And the coaches have to change their attitude, especially Reeves.
Not just Reeves, Witherspoon. I mean, you want your whole thing was to have her get a double and break the record instead of winning the game, put her back in the game. I mean, like I said, I don't blame Angel Reese for this. I blame the coach. Why are you putting her back in there when the game's out of hand?
All right. Well, let's see what happens. Wednesday, I'll be doing the game live against Dallas Wings, 7:30 on ESPN. Please join me for that. And our live show is every Monday from 6 to 8 Eastern time, except for major holidays, except for the 2 weeks during the Olympics, because we'll be going live from 2 to 5 every day because that's prime time in Paris when they have the marquee events. All right, if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to contribute to our channel, you can now do that through PayPal, and you'll see it down in the links below. Make a donation if you'd like. All right, we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.